So today we're going to be doing the dailies for the an elementary event that we shot at. So we have drone footage and we have ground footage. This is the footage that we're going to be mostly using for our main edit or our event recap. So first, I like to start off with the drone footage to kind of get an idea of what we're working with, an overview of the entire event. Just getting rid of this footage. Just getting rid of some of the footage that I know we are not going to need in here. And let's see. All right. Let's see, making sure that everything's in order. We don't need the pictures since we're not dealing with pictures. We're just dealing with video at the moment. Yeah, we don't need any of these. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start with just the drone footage. So I was working with the best time that I could or with whatever I had. Keep in mind for events like this, things tend to not go as planned or as the person setting up the event wants to, so you're gonna have to be ready at any moment since things might change depending on the circumstances, depending on whether people get there on time or the place hosting has everything organized, so things can vary. But right now I'm just going to pretty quickly over everything just to kind of get a feel of what we have. So it might be a little bit blurry or you guys might not make too much sense out of it, but I'm just kind of glancing over some of the footage that I have to get an idea of what I'm working with. Okay. Yeah, we get a little bit of everything. And again, it's just a matter of being on top of it because things change on a dime. All right, let's go ahead and start from the beginning. See what looks usable here. Let's see. Okay, this looks good. Them playing, the drone going up. Like that. Okay, let's see. Drone coming in. We can use that footage as well. Let's see, a still shot. Looks good. So all of these are just clips, some of the best clips of the event mashed up into one place so that I can always come back and use them. I believe here they're transitioning or they're just swapping or moving around from game to game or changing games. And this is something that the person who hired us wanted us to capture since he needs this for a voiceover he's doing. Alright, okay. Let's see, how would I capture that as I guess I'll just put the entire thing as a clip. Because since this one is you're capturing a group of people going from one place to another or switching spots, I guess we just have to let it play out and then just speed it up. But the bottom here, this is just clips that I can always pull, or some of the best clips from the raw footage, so that I don't have to always be grabbing from the raw footage. Alright, this is just a nice overview of the fields being used. Oh, it's nice. Okay, good action shots. I see some movement down here. All right. Okay, there we go. And you're not always going to get everything, as you see here. I could have waited for them to finish the game, but you have to quickly move around and capture multiple things, since it's a very short period of time that you're trying to capture everything. If you don't have you don't have a huge crew, you have to constantly be bouncing back and forth between like the action and setting up the shots that you want, or building up for the shots that you want. Let me see here, what do we want? Alright, everybody's starting. There's this one group. Okay. Them zooming in is pretty cool. Okay, we'll keep this pan. Perfect. I'll keep that bit. Okay, we'll keep this little bit here. Oh, there we go. Just moving it around, making sure we're getting the right spot, or getting from the right spot. Getting a lot of action here. Okay, this is good. All right, that was fine. And then remember from these dailies, we're still going to be grabbing from them to make our final video. This is just the best footage that we can find from this raw footage. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, just like one type of movement, usually it has to be a really rare occurrence to have like two types of movements in a single clip, like this, and then going like that. It just doesn't look good for me personally. So that would be, this is one clip, and then this is another clip. That's how I like to split things up, just because it doesn't look nice. It looks a little bit wonky moving two different directions in a single clip, unless it's intentional, you have something planned, or it just happens to work out because you're following something. But in this case, there's nothing, so it just looks a little bit wonky. It's cool. We're getting action, 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 movement, 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 more movement. Okay, kind of stop there. We'll stop it right about here. Okay, let's see, what could we do here? Looks fine. Okay. From right about here. Oh, that's awesome. Getting action shots, perfect. Some over-the-top shots of people playing. Okay, it was cheating. Alright, then playing some games, some more games. Don't want too much movement on the video. There's more of this. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Let's see. Yeah, we'll leave that movement. We'll just fix it in post, as in we'll make it straight, and then pretty much straighten it out so it just looks like we're pulling out. We won't include this little tilt. And then from this tilt, we'll make another clip. Oh, no, it's another movement. So as soon as we stop moving, we'll make another clip. There you go. From there, we'll leave that as a clip. Movement's too wonky here. Don't really like anything. Okay, let's see. This is okay. I think we might be able to work with something on this one here. Let's see. I see the kids just moving around. Might be able to do something. The movement is towards this end here. Then it just starts. A little bit of movement. I don't know. Could we do something? Might be able to do something. Yeah, we'll just keep that little bit and add it. Okay, another close up. Perfect. No, okay, we'll actually just go from right here till right there, since here it looks pretty dead, and then we just gotta readjust. Okay, got people waving at the camera, getting a little bit of that. It's always good to add, so we can always drop it somewhere on our video and add a little bit more of excitement to them. Okay, that's fine. Then I'm playing. Boop. Okay, awesome. All right, we'll leave that as one, and then as we're going back will be another one. And then again, from here, we're just going to be grabbing clips. We're just going to be grabbing any smaller interactions to make faster paced videos, or to be able to pull from later as reference to build commercials, or to be able to build whatever it is that we need to for this client, since they do require commercials for most of their attractions and most of the things that they do. So it's always good to have all of the best parts, or the most, I guess, would be the usable parts of the raw footage already ready to go and just pull from. It does save a lot of time. Okay, I don't know if I want that reveal backwards. Yeah, we'll do it, since we do get some action. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay, we got to see everybody and then playing. All right. Guess we'll just include that little ending to our clip. So far, we got a 3 minutes and 47 seconds of just drone footage. I'm gonna highlight this and make it a different color, just so that I'm aware how much we have of drone footage and how much of the other footage we have. But I'm already thinking that if we have this much footage, this much drone footage, probably gonna have twice as much of the other footage. Not 100% sure, but sometimes that's the case, since I shoot more on the ground or longer on the ground. But then again, for this event, it's a little bit different than every other event. The other events, I'm usually just getting a quick little overview, like let's just say going over everything, or getting a quick like overview of the event, and then that's it, and adding some parts here and there. But in this one, since they're right, we are focusing a little bit longer on some attractions, capturing some events, capturing some excitement from an overhead view. So then that's why this might be longer, or this might be longer than my typical drone shots. But let's go ahead and start with the ground footage. All right, let's see. It's about 30 minutes of ground footage. How much did we have of drone footage? We had 10 minutes of drone footage that we went through, and 30 minutes of ground footage. That's what I mean, that it's usually longer, but we might just grab smaller clips of this one or from this one. Okay, let's mute that. We don't need the audio. Okay, let's see. We can grab, oh, that's a nice shot. Kids playing. All right, that's a good one. Not kids playing, kids getting pulled. All right, let's see. They're about to start. Okay, perfect. Awesome. All right. Can I include that too? We're almost halfway there. I'm just kidding. We're 1/4 of the way to having the same amount of drone on-ground footage as drone footage. All right, let's see from here. Okay, yeah, from the lady throwing that. Awesome. Okay, we just get that part. Let's see here. Okay, throw their hands up. Awesome. Cool. Go ahead and include that. Okay, side view. Yeah, we're just letting it play out and just capturing the entire event, or like the entire session, or as much as the session as possible so it doesn't get too repetitive. Oh, it's a pretty nice switch. Didn't really need to do much there. That's pretty awesome. Okay, we're gonna keep it going, keep it going. All right, these are pretty good. This is some pretty good reactions. All right, so we're gonna stop it right there, and that's 2 clips. Let's see, what else did we get? Okay, yeah, they wanted, okay, they know the client wanted the referees or the people giving helping set up. So we'll include a little bit of this footage of people talking, the referees talking, then of her setting things up. Okay, that's pretty good. Just wasn't sure what part I wanted to include. Okay, they're giving out in their instructions. This is good. Okay, yeah, we'll leave this entire part. That's fine. Damn, I'm really fighting for it. Okay. Okay, we'll go from there. Let it play out. Okay, that's fine. Again, we're just trying to capture the best moments. I think that's it for there. Okay, let's see the kid running back. Okay, awesome. Yeah, we're just gonna leave this entire thing since this is all usable. mean, this happens sometimes where everything's usable. There's no need to split things up, since we're capturing an entire event. We could if we need to, but we're just gonna leave the entire thing at the moment, just because it's easier to leave it all and then be able to grab from, instead of splitting everything and then trying to find things and then piece them back together. All right, let's see the person giving instructions. Okay, that's fine. Okay, we get some action shots of people smiling, or that lady smiling. All right, this is all fine. Again, since this is usable, we're just letting it play out, and we're going to use all of this footage, because this could be used in its entirety for a training video, for a voiceover for a commercial, or it could also be split into smaller sections for a quick recap of the event. Okay, wasn't even giving her instructions. It's just moving her hand. Okay, again, all of this is usable. Have the people in the background winning, them still struggling. Okay, that's too much movement. No, we can still use it. Some other people creeping up there in their second round. All right, perfect. Perfect. All of that is usable. Yes. It's a long usable clip, but it works. Okay, somebody else struggling. Okay, we will just leave it on her, and then as soon as it switches to a different person, we'll start another clip. This is what I was talking about, and that sometimes it's okay when you follow one person, how we were following that other family. In this case, we'll just leave it right here. That would be another clip. Let's see, this might be another one. No, not really usable. All right, we'll leave this. It's a little shaky, but still usable. You can just add the stabilizer to it and it'll be fine. We're moving around, but all of this is usable. We can then split it into smaller videos. Yeah, we have a lot of long clips on here, but that's just because we're capturing a lot of this event in its entirety, or a lot of these games in its entirety. So that's why these clips are a lot longer than they usually are for the dailies when it comes to recaps of events. All right, that one's fine. It's pretty lengthy, but okay. Yes, this is awesome here. Crowd shot. More crowd shots. do another one here. Since it's a pan, and this isn't zoomed in. I'm giving instructions. Okay, I will leave this one since I know the client wanted us to, or he mentioned in post that he was going to do a voiceover, and he wanted to incorporate the his employee giving out instructions. All right, this is awesome. This is all usable, and then they start. Perfect. It's all right that we get a little bit of shake right now, and then you're moving back and forth. That's just because it's needed for this. It's gonna be one long one. All right, looks good. Everything's fine. Just also wandering around, see if there's anything in the background that I might not want to include this video. And yeah, we captured the entire event or the entire session of this one. So all of this could be broken down into the cheering, the swapping, the starting off, the instructions, the cheering at the end. Like I mentioned, you can break it down to various videos. Okay, let's not include that. Let's see here. I'm trying to see what, it's a little bit of excitement. Get a little bit of excitement shots here since we have this kid jumping around and then people moving out in the background. But other than that, it's not too usable since it's just a bunch of backs. Might be able to work something nice and showcasing here the employee giving instructions. Then we have the client, but don't really need to include that. All right, let's see, a side shot. Okay, awesome. Get a little bit of movement here in the background that we could use in this video, and then him giving out instructions. Perfect, we'll include that. Let's see, okay, awesome. They're starting to move. Okay, I was recording this footage. I was flying the drone during this footage, so I'm just going over it as well for the first time. I like it. It's a lot of usable parts, like how we have movement in the background, him giving out instructions is perfect. All right, and then they're playing the game and we still have movement in the background. Perfect. Okay, awesome, he's finishing the game, and all right, we'll call it there. Let me see if there's anything else that's usable. I mean, they're not really moving at the same time. Would be ideal if they all moved at the same time. But some of this footage is still usable. I could still zoom in, do something in post. All right, they're starting to move here. Perfect. Yep, we can just straighten this out in post, and there's no need, since we already got this entirety of it on drone, we don't need to include the entire thing. We could just include one as they're going, and then when they're coming right back. Perfect. Okay, they're coming back again. All right, we'll include this. Perfect. Okay, we might include a little bit of the tilt for the pan. Call it there. And they're coming back this way, and all right, we'll leave it from there. And we'll call it there. Let's see, I think that was it. No, there's one more, it looks like. Okay, it looks like it's just the kids. We'll include that one as well. Include it from there. Get most of them jumping towards the middle. Perfect. And that's it. It looks like we'll go from there, and that's about it. Looks like that was the entire dailies for these event, or the usable footage that I liked, that I can then go ahead and use for various, or repurpose for various projects that we need to use for this client. So we got all the drone footage highlighted in one color, and then we have the entire ground footage in another color to be able to differentiate from them and quickly either mix and match them if we need to for the recaps, or if ever I need drone, I know the drone footage is in orange, or if I need ground footage, quickly grab from the blue. So it just makes things a lot more organized. It keeps things a lot more organized and makes things a lot quicker. And like I mentioned, some of these clips are longer than they usually are compared to some other of the events that we shoot, since the client requested to capture the entirety of some of these games to be able to add to commercials and do voiceovers essentially. So that's why this is a lot longer. Some of these clips are a lot longer than others. But everything looks good so far. I'm just kind of glancing over, making sure that it's all the footage that I like. So far, so good. And I kind of avoid all these back shots from time to time. I know sometimes there's no other option but to shoot from the back, but it's can't really capture too much, or doesn't really tell too much of a story unless there's something massive in front and the main subject isn't the people, but whatever's in front, and in this case the people are the subject, so it just looks a little bit funky. And yeah, all right, yeah, looks good. Yeah, all of this footage, it's gonna be pretty easy to then just pull from. All right, those were the dailies for the elementary event that we shot.